Hey guys, DevilHunterXYZ, and it's time again for another movie review. Earlier today I went to see the new Skyfall movie, and it was actually pretty good. It was better than the last two movies, and it kind of felt more in touch with the classic Bond movies. I mean, it's kind of hard to really explain it when you have to actually see it for yourself, but it kind of felt as though it was an actual true origin movie to Bond's career as a 00 agent. Okay, so the movie starts out like this. Bond and his new assistant Eve are in a mission in Turkey to recover a missing hard drive stolen by a mercenary named Patrice, and the whole mission ends up going into a big chase scene in cars, and then eventually ends up into like a fight on top of a moving train, but in the end. Eve is in a situation where she has to she has to take a shot at Patrice, while at the same time Bond is fighting him, and she couldn't get a clear shot, and she accidentally shoots Bond, and Bond falls off the train and falls in deep into a river, and then of course that's when the whole intro starts and whatnot. After Bond was presumed dead, apparently some political committee chairman was pressuring M into forcing her into retirement after finding out that she was responsible for losing the list of all the NATO agents, and apparently it kind of shows that someone was hacking into the MI6 headquarters trying to uncover the list. And apparently there was a huge explosion at the headquarters. And then afterwards, M returns to her home and finds out 007 has actually been okay. He somehow managed to survive the fall, which never really was explained. But later on, Bond is forced into training once again. And then afterwards, he has a lead on Patrice, and then he's sent to Shanghai to try to find out who he's working for. Afterwards, Bond meets up with Patrice in a building in Shanghai, and they go into this fist fight, and unfortunately Patrice is thrown off the building, but Bond manages to find a clue and finds a gambling chip. So he heads to a casino, and there he meets some woman, and she was gonna tell her who Patrice was working for, and it ends up the woman and Bond getting captured on a ship and taken to an island, and apparently they find out that the one who was involved was a former MI6 agent. I think his name was Silva, and I mean the whole point was Silva was trying to get back at MI6 for having the Chinese imprison him and torturing him. Eventually, MI6 managed to infiltrate the fight between Bond and Silva, and then they capture him and extract him to UK. And while Silva is in the headquarters, the new headquarters of MI6, Q and Bond are decrypting Silva's laptop to try to find out where the list of agents is, but they accidentally set off like a hack onto the MI6 systems, which allowed Silva to escape in the tunnels. And then it eventually goes to this whole chase scene with the Bond going through like subways, just trying to get Silva, and at the same time Silva's just trying to make his way to the courthouse where M is currently at for some kind of trial. And anyway, Silva, along with some other men, managed to get to the courthouse to try to take down M, but Bond manages to get there at the same time as well, and him and Eve are trying to protect M, and then they manage to escape, and then Bond and M are headed off to Scotland. While driving to Scotland, M and Bond paid a visit to Bond's childhood home, the Skyfall Lodge, and there they met a, I guess it was kind of like the caretaker of the home, and it's also Bond's family estate. And then there they were just preparing for a final fight against Silva and his men. And then when night fell, they ends up in this whole giant shootout within the house, and it's like giant explosions going on throughout the house. It was just really insane. And in the end, though, the caretaker and M managed to escape through an underground passage, but at the same time, M is wounded. And then those two end up moving to a different location, which was like a small, I guess, was like some kind of small chapel just close by to the estate. And then Silva tries to go after them, and in the end, Silva does make it to the chapel, and he was trying to have M kind of kill both her and Silva, but Bond manages to kill Silva, but apparently because of her wound, M dies in his hands. And then afterwards, it goes back to MI6 headquarters, and now the chairman, who we found out is Mallory, becomes the new M, and Eve apparently introduces herself as Moneypenny. So that was like a great twist to the story. There are a couple of pros in this movie. The first being the storyline itself. I mean, as opposed to the other two movies that just seem kind of all like back to back, almost like direct sequels of each other, this is kind of a complete different story, and which I really prefer. And like I said before, this kind of has a more of an origin feel to it. Like this is like the true beginning of Bond. And another positive I can say about this movie is just the kind of almost retying it to the past. In two ways, they had the whole shootout with the estate, the Bond's estate. I mean, I think it was kind of a touching moment having to show Bond's past, show his past home, and also bringing old characters from the past Bond movies to really make it tied to the series. The only con I can really think of is that it has Daniel Craig, and not to say I hate Daniel Craig, is it's just that he doesn't really have the British charm. I mean, not like Sean Connery or Pierce Brosnan, and he doesn't really do that many witty remarks like in the previous Bond movies or any of the Bond movies in the past. He kind of more just the upfront person. Doesn't really do much jokes. Yeah, but I kind of understand that they needed to have someone portrays Bond as a younger person. In conclusion, I think this is a really good Bond movie, and it really improved from the other two. There are like four things you need to get right for a good Bond movie. You need the car, the gadgets, the women, and the action. And the other two movies, they were decent, but they were just seemed more just like action movies, like any other action movie. But this movie, though, actually nailed it, and actually becoming a true Bond movie. And I would say I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I highly recommend seeing this movie. I think it's really worth it. This is DevilHunterXYZ, and until next time.